Yeah, right.
You're hot.
All right, everyone. We're going to begin with an opening statement by head coach Manny Diaz, and then we'll go into questions. Coach?
Couldn't be more proud of our players. Number one, just everything that they did to get us to this day. Starting back June 15th, the first workouts, did everything we asked them to do in the summer, kept each other safe, just gave us the chance, gave us the opportunity to play today. And then our performance, it's a season opener. There's a ton of stuff to correct. But our demeanor, our temperament on the sideline, the way the guys supported each other, and the way we just stayed after that UAB team, that's a really good UAB team. No one does what, in terms of rushing yards and total yards. No one, everyone in this profession knows that Bill Clark is an outstanding defensive coach, and to run for over 300 and have almost 500 yards of offense is really impressive. I thought defensively, other than, of course, the short field on the turnover, I thought we set the tone early. I thought our guys really looked relentless. There's some things, again, we have to correct, but I thought all those 3 and outs in the first half allowed our offense to get the ball back, and those snaps just start wearing down on the opposition. You could just see that cumulative effect of the snaps and the tempo in this humidity. It was very humid out there tonight, which is really the whole idea. And then kicking game. You know, we've seen the addition in the last 2 years of Headley last year and then Borregales this year. I think every kickoff was a touchback. We made our field goal. Headley, I mean, it was like a bomb after bomb, 47.5 average, long at 55, always putting them on a long field, very hard to drive the ball against our defense. So, again, a lot to correct from game one, but a lot to be proud of, and just thankful to be these guys' coach and have the opportunity to coach a football game in Hard Rock Stadium today.
All right, we're going to go into questions. First, we have Gary Furman from Canesport. Gary, go ahead for coach.
Hey, Manny, congratulations. Obviously a huge night for both Rhett and De'Ara King. Talk a little bit about, just what they've been through in the last 4 weeks, putting this offense together, and what your initial impressions were as the head coach watching it on game day tonight. Well,
I think you saw a glimpse of what it can be. I mean, again, it took us a minute to get us going. They'll have. I mean, they already know that there's so many things that we can do better. I will say this: as a football team, we need to learn how to finish a game better. I didn't think we were as good in the fourth quarter as we were in the third, but they put so much stress on the defense, and then De'Ara, obviously with his running ability on some of those scrambles, the touchdown, and there's always a threat of the explosive play. Cam Harris's first touchdown on the fourth down really got us going there in the first quarter. And so I'm proud of those guys. I'm proud of the way that we were physical and ran the football. That UAB team went to Tennessee a year ago and held them to about 300 yards of offense. And so to put 337 rushing on them in an opener with a ton of mistakes is very encouraging to me.
All right, next up we're going to go to David Lake from Inside the U. David, go ahead for coach.
Yeah, Coach, I have 2 questions, I guess. Number one, how much of a debate was it on that 4th and 1, I think, where Cam busted the touchdown? How close were you to thinking about punting the ball? And then the other question I have is every time UAB scored a touchdown, I believe you guys answered with a touchdown of your own. What does that say about how De'Ara King responds to adverse situations when the game got tight and he was able to respond with a touchdown drive?
Yeah, I agree. If that's not true, it certainly felt like that. It felt like every time UAB made a little bit of a run that we countered right back down the field with a touchdown drive. So, one, I think that's just the play the next play mentality that our entire football team has, that we can pick up, either side of the ball can pick up the other side. So even when we were, not moving the ball sometimes in the first half, the defense went out there and just got another 3 and out. I thought that the team ball was really good in that regard. In terms of the 4th down call, I thought that was pretty straightforward. I mean, it was 1 to go, and again, when you have the element of the quarterback's legs, it just adds another gap and just gets somebody's eyes off. And they were really in a sellout, everybody up there defense. So once Cam broke the front line, there was no one left to get him.
Next up, we're going to go to Manny Diaz from The Athletic. Manny, go ahead for coach.
Hey, Manny,
congratulations. You guys ended up running the ball 2 times as much as you threw it tonight. Is that kind of the identity you think you guys are going to have with this power spread offense, or do you think there could eventually be more balance down the road?
It'll be what is needed to win that game. But we wanted to make a statement. We wanted to lean on this football team, and we wanted to pound the rock. And even early on, when some of those runs were 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, we wanted to stay after it, stay relentless, and just continue to pound the ball. And UAB played a front this game that they did not play a week ago, so we had to make some adjustments to that. But I'm proud of our guys for just staying after it.
Great. Next up, we have Chris Perkins from Sports Illustrated. Chris, go ahead for coach.
Hey Manny, you guys ran 78 plays tonight, and tempo was one of the things that you talked about with Grant Lashley coming in. Where did the offensive line's role go as far as those plays, and what did you think of the offensive line's contribution to those 78 plays?
I was proud of the way that those guys got after that UAB front. I mean, all those rushing yards came into a loaded box where, they had an extra hitter, so you had to be moving some people. I thought they did a really nice job, and it was 78 plays, and that's with us taking the foot off the gas, in the last part of the fourth quarter. So, again, we got a lot of snaps, and I think you could tell the difference in terms of how that wore UAB down.
Awesome. Next up, we have David Furones from the Sun Sentinel. David, go ahead for coach.
Hey man, first of all, real quick before you get to follow, we saw the news that Kylie Herbert and Zelensky Hillary are now unavailable for the season. Are those opt-outs?
Yeah, both those guys opted out sometime in the month of August, and we'll welcome both those guys back in January.
Okay, great. And I also wanted to ask about not only the run offense, but the run defense. Just a few of them got out for UAB, but aside from that, mostly very solid in that area. Your thoughts? You're tackling for the first time in a game in a long time.
Yeah, I thought for the most part, I thought the tackling for game one was pretty good. Just there's one or two in space that bothered us. UAB kind of switched running schemes from last season. They became more of an outside zone team. Like you say, there was a lot of times where we got them with some tackle for losses, some negative yardage plays. They popped them out, a couple out of there, which would be a good lesson because we probably play the best outside zone team in the country next week in Louisville. So it'll be a good lesson for us to watch. It'll be a good lesson for good film for Louisville to watch, and again find some things that we have to do better technique wise.
Okay, next up, we're going to go to David Wilson from the Miami Herald. David, go ahead for coach.
Hey, Manny, the 2 freshmen running backs obviously pretty impressive today. You guys have played running backs as freshmen in the last couple of years here, but those two, to be ready for this opener to play like that, how impressive were they throughout the preseason? Obviously, we didn't get to see very much of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you saw tonight is what we saw during the preseason. And I'm sure they'll look at some of their runs and see where they can make some different cuts. But the name of the game is explosion. So in addition to the fact they both got 6 yards of carry, a 25-yarder for Knighton and a 33-yarder for Cheney, where you can just really flip the field and just make big things happen. All those guys have the opportunity to do that in the open field. And again, really proud for Cam for his long run because as I've been mentioning all year, Cam's work ethic this calendar year has been through the charts. So you always want to see a guy like that rewarded, in the game, worthy of their effort.
Okay, we have time for a couple more. The next question is from David Hale from ESPN. David, go ahead for coach.
Hey, Manny, congrats on the win. 2 quick things. One, if you had an update on what the situation was with Tate Martell that he wasn't available in the game. And then 2, I'm just curious, given how strange this whole situation is, I mean, you're here doing a Zoom meeting with a mask on. How much did you sort of sense the difference during the game of the environment that you were in versus did it just become sort of a familiar thing being on the sideline and coaching football?
I mean, ball's ball. Once the game started, you're so wrapped up into the game. Certainly, the environment was a little bit different. I've got to say, it was great to see the fans that were able to come to the game. This is the first, major sporting event in Dade County since mid-March, and just to have that sense of community and have our players see people supporting him and stuff like that. Again, this was not promised to us, so we were happy to have the fans we had and thought they did a great job during the game. And then to answer your question on Tate Martell, Tate was just suspended for this game, team matter, and we'll be back after this game.
Our final question for Coach Diaz comes from Susan Miller-Degnan of the Miami Herald. Susan, go ahead for coach.
It's been a while, obviously, since you guys won. How nice is it to have the victory and to start off the right way? That's my first question.
Yes, I would just the locker room I just left. I would say everybody definitely feels it was nice to start off with a victory. It has been a while since we won a game, and we talked all year about respecting how difficult it is to win a game and how hard these guys work. So to see that locker room was a great reward for everybody in there.
And the other thing I wanted to ask was about Bradley Jennings. I guess he made his first start at middle linebacker. He did pretty well. Can you talk about him a little?
I thought Bradley Jennings played really well, and it was really great to see Wayman Steed in there. Got to give credit to Vinny Scavo and Jeff Ruiz and our medical training staff, because both those guys came back from really, really difficult injuries to come back from, and it wasn't always guaranteed that they would get to see the field at all. And for both those guys to go in there and play the role, I thought it was really, really neat to have both those guys in.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach Diaz, for taking a couple minutes to chat with us, and we'll be talking with you soon.
All right, thank you all.
Cam, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear.
All right, everyone, we're going to go right into questions for junior running back Cameron Harris. First up, we have Brandon O'Doy from Football Hotbed. Brandon, go ahead for Cam.
And the first thing Coach said tonight is your off-season work ethic made tonight the game that you had so possible. What did you think about all off-season when you were training, and what did you think about your performance tonight?
It started off last year, when we came short. I had to humble myself, and I had to dig in the dirt. I had to dig in deep, so I had to work every day. Next year, DJ left, so the team was counting on me, so I had to work hard every day.
Great. Next up, we're going to go to Austin Pert from the Miami Hurricane. Austin, go ahead for Cam.
Cam, good job tonight, first off. Tell me about that 4th and 1 run. That obviously was a huge turning point in the first quarter. Tell me about that.
Shout out to the O-line. I just had to be patient. I seen the crease, I hit it, and I was gone.
Awesome. Next up, we have Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny, go ahead.
Hey, Cam, you guys as a team ran the ball tonight 52 times. I'm sure as a running back, that's got to really excite you. Can you just talk about the number of opportunities you guys kept pounding the rock? That's what Coach said the mission was, to just pound it.
The mission was today we was going to put the ball on the ground. We were going to run the ball. As you can see, you see Jalen Knight, you see Robert Byrne, you see Don Cheney eating, you see the whole running back room eating. So it's coming.
Do you think that's the identity going forward? You guys are just going to be that kind of a team that pounds teams like this?
Of course. Once we pound the ball, get the defense time, we're going to take shots.
Awesome. Next up, we have David Wilson from the Miami Herald. David, go ahead for Cam.
Hey Cam, I know it didn't seem like Derek was keeping in a lot on those read options, but did you feel like just the defense having to pay attention to him out there, knowing that he can keep the ball on those? Do you kind of feel that even when he's not necessarily running it a ton in those situations?
Of course, the defense was relying on Derek King. How talented that guy is. You see how special he was today, running on foot. That guy is amazing.
Awesome. Next up, we have David Lake from Inside the U. David, go ahead for Cam.
And Cam, just more on Derek, I guess, what impressed you most about how he led the offense, was a leader today, and kind of just managed the game as the quarterback?
Just coming in the game, he was being a great leader, didn't have many mistakes. just being a smart quarterback, and I think that's what we need.
Okay, we have time for a couple more. Next up, we have Gary Furman from Kingsport. Gary, go ahead for Cam.
Hey Cam, just wanted to know how you came out of the game physically, and with the lack of a spring practice and everything, how did you feel out there in terms of being in shape to go for a full game?
It started off in the weight room with the condition. When I was running the ball, running that 40 yards, 60 yards, whatever I did, I was thinking about them 200 with Coach Philly. Picked them knees up, I was gone.
And are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm great.
All right, our last question for Cam comes from Manny Diaz from The Athletic. Go ahead, Manny.
Hey Cam, just wanted to ask you, the offense, you guys are obviously running the ball well, but it felt like things got a lot better once Brevin got involved in the passing game. Can you just talk about his contribution and what you think that did for the offense?
We were trying to get Brevin the ball early in the game, but the way how the defense was set up, they were just playing cover for it back. And that's a great defense, and they had 9 starters that came back. And we knew the first game was going to be tough and wasn't going to be easy.
All right, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk with us, Cam, and we'll be chatting with you soon.
All right, thank you.
Jim, what time do you think they'll have that at?
Well, we need the results from their tests from today, tomorrow, and we're waiting on.
Diaz, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can.
Great. All right, we're going to go right into questions for quarterback Diaz King. First up, we have David Furones from the Sun Sentinel. David, go ahead for De'Aaron.
Hey, Derek, just to start off, how did it feel your first game under Red Lashley's offense?
It felt pretty good. It was a lot of things that usually happen in the first game. I think we did some good things, and we got to get better on a lot of stuff that we got to get better quick on a lot of stuff. But it felt good. Just going out there running the ball pretty well. I think the O-line did a great job. Obviously, the running backs did a great job, and a few people made plays, so it felt good overall.
And just to follow up real quick, I know Red Lashley, he really preaches balance in the offense. Did you expect to run the ball as much as you guys did today?
I didn't, but they came out in a defense that we didn't rep at all week in practice. So they came out something new, and we had to adjust. And I think the way the O-line was getting the push and the way the running backs were running the ball, I think it was a great in-game adjustment by him, and I think we made it work. So.
Awesome. Next up, we have Manny from The Athletic. Manny, go ahead for De'Aaron.
Hey, Derek, you guys obviously were able to get to Brevin in the second half, and I thought that really opened the offense up. I just wanted to ask you about, I know how much he loves catching the football. What was he like in the huddle in that first half, and how bad did he kind of want you to find him?
He was cool. He wasn't pressuring anybody, trying to give him the ball, but obviously, as a competitor, you want the ball a lot. He's a great player, and when we got him the ball, he made plays. So I think that was good to see, and he made really good decisions with the ball, and when he got the ball, he made great plays.
Do you at all think that maybe that's the key to this offense is including, obviously you guys can run it. We saw that tonight, but
Yeah.
just that balance of having Brevin involved.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that'll help us down the road. We got to be able to pass the ball better going down, moving forward. But yeah, just running the ball, keeping the defense off balance, I think that's a big key to our success.
Awesome. Next up, we have Gary Furman from Kane Sport. Gary, go ahead for De'Aaron.
Hey, Derek, talk a little bit about what this night meant for you emotionally. I mean, it's been such a long time for you and so much anticipation and build-up. What was going through your mind and emotionally as you were out there tonight?
Yeah, honestly, I had a lot on my mind tonight. It's my first game in my whole entire life without my dad. He passed in February, so that was on my mind. But I was trying to go out there and just play for him. I couldn't stop thinking about it the whole night. How proud he would be of me, and just giving him a hug after the game, calling him after the game, and him encouraging me to keep getting better, keep going every single day. But overall, it was good for me to get out there. Haven't played a college football game in a while, so just going out there and just playing, getting the win, that was the biggest thing for me.
Great. Next up, we have David Wilson from the Miami Herald. David, go ahead for De'Aaron.
Hey, Derek, you guys had back-to-back really good drives in the third quarter. I know it's kind of cliche, but do you feel like you kind of settled in as the game went on? Obviously, breaking in new offense, new quarterback, so many new pieces.
Yeah, no doubt. Week ones are always weird. Every week one I've been a part of has been a crazy week. But yeah, new offense, new quarterback, new system totally. Missing spring ball, missing a little bit of summer. I think we did pretty good for the occasion. We just got to keep getting better and have a great week of practice. Usually, the biggest jumps in week 1 to week 2. So hopefully we have a great week of practice and go out there and have a good game versus Louisville.
And then just you as a passer, I'm sure you had a couple overthrows. I'm sure you wanted that. Just how did you feel you threw the ball tonight?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, like you said, missed a few throws down the field. Those guys, UAB was giving us a lot of double-eye lightning, covering one man. So we got to hit those shots when we get them. Like I said, we got to just keep getting better and go back to practice and work hard at that.
Awesome. Next up, we have Matt Baker from the Tampa Bay Times. Matt, go ahead for De'Aaron.
Hey, De'Aaron, can you kind of take us through your touchdown run?
He called the play. I seen the play break down. I felt like UAB was dropping a lot of people in coverage. I think my instinct just took over, and I just took off and was trying to get in the end zone.
And then to follow up on that, did you give the touchdown rings to your linemen afterward?
Yeah, 100%. Those guys deserve it. I think they're the reason our team's gonna win a lot of games this year. They work extremely hard and they don't get a lot of praise. So just every time we score, I think a skilled guy should give the rings to the offensive line because they deserve it.
Awesome. Next up, we have David Lake from Inside the U. David, go ahead for De'Aaron.
Yeah, De'Aaron, just wanted to get your thoughts on the importance of Cam Harris to this offense and, in general, how big was that play, the 66-yard touchdown that kind of allowed you guys to breathe as an offense?
Yeah, it was a huge play. Cam's a great player. He makes the offense go. Being able to run the ball, take those shots. I think he did a really, really good job. And also, both freshman running backs, I think they did a really good job as well. It's always easier when you can run the football, and I think we showed we can tonight.
Awesome. We have time for a couple more. Next up, we're going to Chris Perkins from Sports Illustrated. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, tell me about the atmosphere at halftime in the locker room. Were you guys wondering what's going on, or were you pretty level-headed?
No, I think everybody was level-headed for the most part. We knew how the game was going to go. It was week one. They had a game before us. You got to get the kinks out, get the first game jitters out, and I think we just was staying positive in the locker room, just talking to each other and saying we got to go score. We got to go get points on the opening drive, and we did that. And the defense played great all game, so they helped us out a lot.
And then tell me about the shirt. How many of you guys are wearing those shirts? And is it just the guys who are on Postgame or a large contingent? Tell me about it.
The whole team plus the coaches we all had the shirt on coming to the stadium. Everybody has a shirt on right now. It's just trying to send a message that it's not just a one-day thing, one-night thing. It's forever. We got to just keep pushing the movement and just keep moving forward.
Awesome. Our last question for Derek comes from Susan Miller-Degnan of the Miami Herald. Go ahead, Susan.
Hey, Derek, your record that you extended, the FBS record of at least one touchdown throw and run for a touchdown, what does that record mean to you?
It means a lot. I would think, but I don't really think about that right now. That's something down the road. Whenever I'm done playing football, I'll probably look back at it and like, man, that's pretty cool. Passing up Tim Tebow, one of the greatest college football players of all time. Yeah, it's a huge honor, but I try not to think about it right now. Probably something down the line I'll just think about.
And the other thing is your family, everybody was there today?
Yes, ma'am. Everybody came down from Houston. All their flights got delayed last night because they had some bad weather, so they got down here today. So, yeah, everybody's down here.
Have you seen them yet since the game?
No, ma'am. I haven't seen them because the COVID restrictions, so I haven't seen them yet. I talked to them. I texted them, called them, and all that, so it's all good.
Awesome. Derek, congrats on your first one as a Hurricane. Thanks for taking the time off with us, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, we're going to jump right into questions for defensive lineman Nesta Jade Silvera.
Yo.
First up, we have Chris Perkins from Sports Illustrated. Go ahead for Nesta.
Nesta, tell me about you guys stopping the run, because that was a big thing, Spencer Brown. You guys were very effective at that. How did it happen?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Tell me about stopping the run, because you guys did that very effectively. How did that happen?
By stopping the run. Yeah.
Was it good technique? Was it
Oh.
effort? Was it, what's been into stopping the run?
I think that goes just into what Coach Diaz and Coach Stroud and Coach Baker preached to us all week, just about just playing our targets, shooting our hands at our targets, making sure we hit our spots, and making sure we don't play side to side, play vertical.
Awesome. Next up, we're going to go to Gary Furman from Kane Sport. Gary, go ahead for Nesta.
Hey Nesta, you were really active tonight, and that was probably, at least it seemed the best that we've seen you play at Miami. This is year 3 for you. Talk about how you feel you've improved as a player, and if you agree that was the highest quality that you've played at since you've been at Miami.
To that question, the first part of our answer is I guess I had guys in front of me that were great, phenomenal my freshman year. In Gerald Willis, All-American. Last season I dealt with an injury, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think I had a fair shot to show what I had. So I don't think that's a fair statement. You know what I'm saying? Because I could have been doing this. But I got a lot of work to do.
But would you agree that this is the best that you've been?
Nah. I got a lot of work to do. And I like my FSU game last year still. Got my first sack.
All right, next up we're going to go to David Furones from the Sun Sentinel. David, go ahead for Nesta.
Hey, Nesta, wanted to know what it was like playing alongside Quincy Roche for the first time, having Bradley Jennings behind the middle linebacker for the first time. Anyone else that stood out to you?
Definitely playing with Quincy. I felt like playing with Greg. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to trust the guy next to you that he'll do his job. And BJ looked like he ain't missed a step, as y'all can see. He's out there whacking people. You know what I'm saying? Up there on the top of the team in tackles. His first game back in over a year and a half. So that's a testament to him and also our training staff, how they work with him. And it's guys I can go on and on about. You know what I'm saying? We got a defense full of dogs, an offense full of dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome. Next up, we're going to go to David Wilson from the Miami Herald. David, go ahead for Nesta.
And I'm wondering what you thought of the touchdown rings with the crib. Are you getting royalties on those?
Listen, it's crazy. It's crazy. What's the word? I plead the fifth. It's crazy.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to go to Chris Perkins again from Sports Illustrated. Perk, go ahead.
Hey, very quickly, you have a ball up there on the podium. Is that a game ball?
Nah. I just thought it looked cool. Yeah.
It does. Thanks.
Awesome. Next up, we're going to go to David Lake from Inside the U. David, go ahead for Nesta.
Justin, what is your take on the offense tonight? 31 points, got off to a good start. Just from a defensive player's perspective, how much did you like seeing that?
I love it. You know what I'm saying? Seeing Derek out there, sometimes I'm like, man, and then he'll just get out of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy just seeing a guy who's able to have those skills and that ability to do that. And the O-line, man, 300 and what, I think like 27 yards rushing, man, coming from how far they came since, you know what I'm saying, last time they had a showing, that's insane, you know what I'm saying? So y'all going to see plenty more from them.
Awesome. Nesta, thanks for taking the time to talk with us tonight, and we'll be chatting with you soon.
Got it. See y'all next week. Thanks, Jay.
That's a lot. Not more than that.
Hands are clean.
At least I know I'm clean, man.
Hands are clean and the kicks are clean too.
Yeah. Hey, we might gotta put those on the podium.
All right, everyone. We're going to go right into questions for defensive lineman Quincy Roche. First up, we have David Lake from Inside the U. David, go ahead for Quincy.
Yeah, Quincy, you got I think the only sack tonight. Just how good did it feel? Get that first sack of the Hurricane, and just take us through the play, kind of what happened.
It's a huge relief. Can you? Am I speaking loud? It's a huge relief. Always getting the first one under my belt. It was kind of a play where I stunted inside. I believe they messed up on the protection. The tackle fanned out. The guard went down. I take it.
Awesome. Next up, we have Chris Perkins from Sports Illustrated. Chris, go ahead for Quincy.
Hey, Quincy, I got two things for you. Number one, I didn't notice you and Jalen flipping sides until the second half. How often did I miss it, and how often did you guys do that tonight?
We flip sides quite a bit. There's been a point that the coaches made in practice to try to get us to be comfortable playing both sides. If we want to play on the next level, that's what it takes. It was just kind of a feel thing. We want to switch this play or the next play. It's no order, no pattern, or nothing like that.
And then tell me about the shirt and what it means to you. What message do you want to convey with that shirt?
A lot. This is our way, our team's way of trying to do our part, and raise awareness to the social injustice that's going on in the world today, as if enough awareness isn't already raised. This is our way of doing our part.
Awesome. Next up, we have David Furones from the Sun Sentinel. David, go ahead.
Hey, Quincy, I wanted to ask about the run defense tonight. Why you feel you guys were so effective in that area tonight?
It was stout. Great job by the D-line, great job by the linebackers, the front seven in general, even the DBs, but it was just the coaches having a good game plan. Everything we game plan, we saw in the game today. And, anytime that happens, it's all on the players to execute. So I think we did a really good job.
Anything else for Quincy? All right, well, we're going to go to David Wilson from the Miami Herald. Go ahead.
Hey, Quincy, just wondering what you thought of seeing the offense in action today. Obviously, a lot of rushing yards. Diaz made some pretty impressive plays. Just what do you think watching them?
Man, it felt good. I felt like I was watching it on TV, but it just felt good watching them. De'Aaron escaped so many plays. Watching the running game. Shout out to the O-line. Shout out to the O-line for blocking. But I thought they played a tremendous game. I'm excited to see what they have in store for the rest of the season.
Awesome. We're going to go back to Chris Perkins from Sports Illustrated. Go ahead, Chris.
Quincy, I got another two things for you. Number one, it's not always sex with the pass rush. It's sometimes pressure also. How did you guys do overall, sex and pressure, talking about the pass rush?
I think we did really well. I think it was a point in their game plan to try to get the ball out quick. Maybe it was a game plan thing, maybe it wasn't. But, they were getting the ball out of quick. We just kept our composure, kept rushing, inside and outside. And, we got a few quarterback hits. But, it's never about the stat sheet. As long as everybody did their job, executed the game plan, and we're in great shape.
And then this was my first time seeing you play. I thought you did a pretty good job of setting the edge and turning those running plays back inside. How did you think you did at that tonight? And how big a part of your game is that aspect?
It's kind of hard to tell how I did tonight, without watching film. But, I try to tell myself it's never as good as it seemed, and it's never as bad as it seemed. I felt decent out there, but, we'll go sit down with the coaches, talk it over with my team, and we'll see how we did and how we graded out.
Awesome. Quincy, congrats on your first win as a King. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us, and we'll be talking with you again soon.
Thank you, guys.
All right, everyone. That concludes tonight's player availability. Thanks for coming out.